So let's talk about the movie Never Back Down, No Surrender. This is the third film in the Never Back Down franchise, although it really has nothing to do with the first movie, although it is a follow-on from the second film. And this one once again stars Michael J. White, who actually directs this movie and also has co-wrote it as well. So basically, Michael J. White's character plays a guy called Case Walker, who is this kind of former fighter who is really living a somewhat of a reclusive life. And he bumped into an old fighting friend who convinces him to come to Thailand with him to train him, which is this big match against this kind of like massive psycho guy called, well, actually played by Nathan Jones, who you may know from the horror film Charlie's Farm. And when we get to Thailand, there's a variety of different kind of subplots that are going on. Some shady goings on from business types. There's a romantic subplot, a kind of training subplot, all these kind of things. I'll come on to that again in just a moment. So let's talk about the good and the bad about this movie. The first thing I would have to say is Michael J. White has got quite a good screen presence here. I think his character is somewhat likeable. He's kind of a quieter character, which I kind of quite liked. He's somewhat of a you know, a kind of like the man with no name type hero here. So he comes across as, you know, as quite cool, quite a likeable character, very kind of honest and kind of, you know, straight down the middle. A bit of a Gary Sue, if I'm honest, but, you know, overall a good character. And Michael J. White knows how to carry himself in these type of films. The second positive thing I would say here, the fight scenes are, for the most part, all very well shot and bone-crunchingly real. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. I thought they were very well shot, very well choreographed. And obviously Michael J. White is an accomplished martial artist in himself. And no, I'm not the biggest kind of martial arts movie fan, but I did like this movie for its kind of fight scenes. Although I will say I wasn't overly impressed with the final big finale fight scene against Nathan Jones. I thought that actually was a little unspectacular. So that will kind of like move me on to the kind of the negatives here. So the last fight scene, it was a longer fight scene, but I didn't feel it really had didn't quite look as exciting, to be honest with you. Seemed a little bit more kind of staged compared to the other ones. Other negatives here, and I have to say that I'm sad to say that the negatives, for me at least, outweigh the positives. The biggest one here being the acting from the majority of the other cast. Sadly, the acting in this film is really subpar. The line delivery from the majority of the cast, and in particular his friend played by Josh Barnett, is some real bad line delivery here. There's some horrible acting on display. But not just from Josh Barnett, there are a few other characters, especially these two kind of young guys that Michael J. White ends up sort of training. Again, terrible actors. And on the subject of those two guys, they have this kind of subplot where they're kind of being trained, and also there's this kind of like this kind of Thai girl that's kind of training there as well. There's no payoff. We never really see what happens to those guys. Their plot is really completely extraneous to the actual main plot here, and this Thai girl really just, you know, is like, yeah, I'm a woman fighter. Brilliant. Anyway, so there, you can kind of literally cut that out of the movie and it makes no difference to the plot whatsoever. The romantic subplot, oh my god, this is so shoehorned in there. I don't think I can really give another example where a romantic subplot is so, you know, unashamedly just kind of like shoehorned into a film. The way it's kind of set up, the way it goes, who it's cast by, oh my god, it's so just like clearly just like shoehorned in, just crowbarred into this movie. Absolutely crap. And there's things that happen and you're just like, oh my god, this is not the 1980s anymore. You just can't do this stuff anymore, I don't think. But the bad characterization doesn't stop there, I'm afraid. The cackling, mustache twirling boxing promoter as well, typical kind of greasy businessman type. Unfortunately, this film is just cliche after cliche after cliche. And the plot here is just balls, unfortunately. It's very typical. You know, there's no real surprises about what's going to happen, and it's just a very kind of, I have to say, basic filmmaking for a kind of direct-to-video kind of audience. But like I said, I mean, if you want to watch some good fighting, you will get that out of this film, I will say that. And Michael J. White, as an actor, I would have to say, does a pretty good job of carrying the rest of the cast here. But as a director, I have to say, I think it leaves a little bit left to be desired, if I'm completely honest. To me, this was a subpar film. I'm sure it will have its fans. I feel this may be kind of a slightly kind of controversial review. I'm sure a lot of people will like this film because they're a big Michael J. White fan, and I am too. You know, you like him in a lot of the stuff, but I feel the vehicle that this was in was a poor vehicle, unfortunately. Although, like I said, some good fight scenes. So for me, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.